Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, my name's Nikki.
Very nice to meet you, Nikki.
You too.
So I just wanted to talk to you before we start our session, just kind of about like some of the confidential matters. If you told me something like you were going to harm yourself or something, that's just something I have to report
Okay.
for confidential reasons. And do you have any questions about that?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, what brings you here?
Um, I've just been really stressed out with between work and I just started a new job and I'm just really stressed out and just between me trying to get into because I started this new job so that I can get into a nurse anesthesia program.
Okay.
So I need at least a year experience and it's a lot because I feel like my husband he has a good job now, but I feel like he doesn't want to progress further. So that makes me kind of I don't know, anxious because I feel like I'm going to school to further my career when he isn't. So
Okay. So it's just like worrying probably too about even your financial issues for like the future.
yes,
And it's just like you're making all this effort to move forward, but then yet he's still like
stagnant
at the
almost.
same spot.
Yes.
And like, have you talked to him? Is he like open to like communicate about this?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but it's more like when we get frustrated with each other and then it
Yeah.
comes up, kind of. So, and I feel like, so recently he applied for another position within his job, and this was a couple days ago. So that made me feel good, but because his boss was like, well, what are you looking for if you want to go to this position? I mean, what is your, what pay are you looking for? And he's like, well, I want to talk to my wife because she's going to be going back to school, and I want to make sure that I can, that I am able to pay for everything or support us both while she's in school because I can't work
Okay.
while I'm in school.
Yeah.
So that made me happy, but it's still but he does this where he'll try and then it's like, okay, well that doesn't work, so he'll stop trying for a while,
Oh,
So
are you kind of worried like once you get out of school and you like have that steady job and that, are you worried like he's gonna just kind of like be lazy and like at all or not,
no, I mean,
or not want to move like forward?
yeah, he
or...
probably. I mean, I don't know. He says that he wants to move forward, but it's his lack of trying. Like he says he wants to, and but he also jokes about being a stay-at-home dad, because I'm gonna be making all this money. And of course he's joking, he's laughing, but I don't know. It bothers me sometimes. And then also on the other end, I guess I shouldn't be upset because that's sexist. Like, why should I expect him to make more money? You know what I mean? As a male,
Yeah.
So it's almost because we're almost in that century where it's okay for females to make more money, but it's almost like you still expect the males to make more money. So
Yeah.
it's bizarre. It's like a bizarre feeling.
Well, we're still kind of like caught up in that like old school, culture, and I don't know, maybe the way you were brought up too. Do you think like that kind of influences? Like, do you feel like your dad maybe?
Well, my parents were divorced, but my mom made good. Well, I guess, yeah, because my dad's always made good money, and then my mom, she made good money, but then she was laid off, so then my stepdad always made more money, but then she got a job. And I guess that's another thing that's pushing me forward is because I don't want to be ever laid off. I don't ever want to be in that situation where I can't give my kids money. I want them to look up to us as parents. I think that's maybe another thing, because Dan's never went to college, or well, he went for a semester, but he didn't like it, which is okay, because
Yeah, school's not for everyone.
Right,
but...
exactly, and there's other means to grow,
Definitely.
financially. But I lost my train of thought. But I guess it's just I want to be able to show my kids no matter which way you do, I would prefer you go to college, but as long as you try, you can still make it in the world,
Yeah.
And I just feel like Dan's not trying as hard as I am, but I'm also very like persistent and very competitive too, and that's not in him.
Yeah, when it's like, it's almost like in your, it has to be in your nature to
Yeah.
like have that energy
Yeah.
to go like that. And when it's not, like for a person like that, it's just like, it's probably difficult to do anything for him to like basically put himself in your shoes
Right.
and like understand where like you're coming from.
I feel like that's correct.
And I know before, like you mentioned, like about him being a stay-at-home dad. Like,
Yeah.
does that like in your mind? Are you worried like you're not gonna be able to have the chance to like be with your kids if you're like basically the bread?
Oh
Bringing-
yeah, because
that-
it would fall. Not, and I don't want to say it would fall on me, because hopefully he does advance with the company, or he does find something else, because he's a union member.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, he works for he makes and repairs hydraulic hoses. So there's like, and as a tech, even though he has a union card, there's only so much he can do. There's like a stopping point. And he's almost to that point, and it's like it's not that much. So he could either move up in the company through different positions, and hopefully open up his own shop, which would be awesome.
Definitely.
But it's not like a guarantee, And he also like there's been chances where he can go and get like classes to like competencies,
Okay.
to like get that under his belt, so that like say if he does quit, somebody else can hire him because he has all this education basically.
Okay.
But like he's missed those classes. Like he'll say he'll go, but then he misses it because it's not a requirement. You don't have to go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. Well, I mean, when you like kind of did communicate to him about like this stuff, like did you notice like his reactions, or like did you ever feel like a sense of like frustration from him, or
Well, yeah, because I think like he like he's upset that I'm thinking this way.
yeah.
And he gets defensive, which is that's understandable. Like if somebody was not accusing me, because I guess it is, like, I guess you could say accusing, but if somebody was saying to me like, hey, I'm working really hard over here, why aren't you?
Yeah.
Like I can understand why he would get defensive, so it's hard to communicate it sometimes on like a nice playing field.
Yeah, like a calm level, not just because sometimes when you're angry, it doesn't come out like the way you wanted
Yeah.
it to, and it could go like basically both ways
Yeah.
for that. So, yeah, that has to be difficult on, your end, just because you really just want him to understand and see like where you're at.
Yeah. And then I'm trying.
Yeah.
Like what I'm trying to do for us.
Yes. And I think I noticed too when you're talking, you want the best for like both of you. And that's probably what you want him to see.
Yeah.
You're not trying to like control him or
Right. Which is exactly the point. So I'm not trying to tell him what to do, but I'm trying to like push him, because he's like, I just feel like he's like not as motivated, like you said earlier, like me. So it's hard for him to get that energy to go.
Yeah.
To do like certain things.
And how has it, because I know usually when you get married, that's when like financial situations, come up because you have bills together and all that. Like, how about before you guys got married? Like, how was your like communication with like other stuff? Like, did you have like?
Well, okay, so we've been married, we haven't even been married a year, but we've been together for 9 years.
Okay,
so
that's quite some time.
Yeah, and we've lived in this house for 3 years together, and then we've also lived together for like 5 years prior to living in this home.
Oh, okay.
So we're like comfortable with like living each other, like we know, like each other's quirks, and we've gotten almost used to it, So, I mean, we would fight about like normal things, just like cleaning, because men are just gross, and
That's common.
it's just, and like you have to yell at them to clean up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like normal stuff, like with fighting, and then like he's not as good of a saver as I am. So like we would fight about some financials, but I think it became more concrete once we were married because I'm like, okay, now like I felt like maybe like I expected more out of him, which isn't fair, you know.
Yeah.
I knew going like when you get married, you shouldn't expect more. You should marry him for who he is. But it's just like a completely different level
Yeah.
of a relationship, I feel like. So I kind of like expected more, like, okay, well, here I am trying, so you should be, you know, trying just as hard for our family that we're going to create.
And probably like in the beginning before you're married, it's like you're in a relationship, but you have that independent, you know, you're still thinking, what am I going to say for myself? Where am I going to go career-wise?
Right.
But then it's like you get married and you're officially one.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yes.
everything that you do impacts each other.
Right, exactly.
So,
I think that's where I'm at. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm like, I feel bad for thinking this way.
mhm.